Hey everyone, welcome to Make a Move. We are happy to have you here. We're happy to be present. My name is Jessie Vargas, former two-time world champion, and we have a special guest. His name is Nonito Donaire, a multi-division world champion, one of the all-time greats. All you have to do is look at his record, look at his career, and he has so much more to give. And he's going to talk a little bit about his next fight, which is only a couple days away, against a man who has made his name in the United States. His name is Inoue, and he has prepared diligently from what he has told me, and now he's going to express everything with everyone here on our YouTube channel. Nonito, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. This is dope. So, no, just getting ready for the fight, mentally focused. Again, it's only a couple of days away, and you can hear from my voice that the process is almost there. So,
The process is there, and when it comes to the process, why is it that your voice changes a bit a couple of days before?
well, the nutrition level is really low, where you're cutting a lot of the weight out. At the same time, you're maintaining to not gain too much weight at the same time, where you gotta hydrate at the same time that you're doing all of this weight cutting. So when you're cutting down the weight, again, tomorrow is the weigh-ins. So today is where the most cutting process is happening, and that's why you have no energy as much as you want it to be. But for a lot of people like myself, cutting weight a little bit affects my voice and my energy level. I mean, I think everybody does.
But the weigh-in is tomorrow, and you've known exactly the process on how to recover immediately. How much do you expect to jump back up right after the weigh-in?
Well, I try to be as big as I can, and that's why I cut a little bit later than a lot of people do. A lot of people cut their weight throughout the month, and I cut my weight just a week of. For a lot of people, it doesn't work for them, but for me, it works for me. So I'm expecting at least 10 pounds going into it, maybe the most at 15 pounds.
You've heard it here from one of the men who has been around the sport for so long and very successful in multi divisions. But now this is a rematch, right?
Yes.
The first fight didn't go your way. I'm sure you weren't happy about it. What is it that made you want to come back and confirm the rematch? There has to have been an idea of saying, you know what, I could have done this better. You know what, he makes mistakes himself. What are those small things that you saw that can make a big difference in the rematch?
Well, after the fight, actually, when the moment I got off the ring and we went to the locker room, and I realized, man, the very first thing that came into my mind was, I can beat this guy. If I focus, if I do what I usually do in the past, I can beat this guy. I can beat anybody. So that was in my head, and I wanted to get that rematch right off the bat. And grateful and blessed enough to have Richard Schaefer on my side and allowed me to get the fights, to be here and get this fight as well, along with Mr. Honda. And here we are. I do truly believe and very, very confident that I'll beat him this time more than just anything that I have in my head. I mean, I am very, very confident.
I gotta ask, what gives you that confidence? There has to be a few things.
Well, my work ethic. I mean, a lot of the trainers that I've worked with, the very thing that they always said was the hardest working person that they've trained was me. Most of them have said that, and that's the thing I take pride on. Not only that I do have a lot of skills in boxing, but I do take pride on the work ethic that I have. Even though my focus isn't there, but I always work hard, and that's just part of me. But now that I put the focus, the work ethic, and the confidence and the total game plan of putting this fight, I know I'm going to be victorious and become undisputed soon.
And now, were you able to see a few weaknesses from Inoue in the first fight? Maybe whether it was right after, or say you saw the video, saw the fight right on video, and then got to figure out, you know what, he does this mistake, this one here, and you got to see a different perspective. Does that apply in this case?
Definitely. I mean, during the fight, actually, I saw a lot of the flaws. It's just that I didn't train hard enough, or I didn't train enough to create a muscle memory to react on varieties of things that I see. I just trained it to fight, And this time around, we're training to react to whatever situation and whatever's given. I've trained enough to react accordingly to what I see that is a flaw from him, from the first fight and then coming into this fight.
speaking of training camp, you train extremely hard. I got to see you a few times. You look phenomenal. But how many months was your training camp, and also the sparring partners that you were able to bring in? Who are they, and how many rounds did you spar? I know there's a few questions, but it all correlates along the same subject.
Um, I mean, right after the fight with him in 2019, I got into the gym right away. I mean, there was a couple weeks that I took off, because of celebration or something like that. But the Obali fight, I got back into the gym. The Gabayo fight, I got back into the gym, and went to Cabo for about a week or two, for 2 weeks, and then went back into it. So I was pretty much in the gym the whole time. So mentally, it's my home, and it's not something that I mean, that's something that I take pride on. Again, is that I'm always in the gym. And for this fight, we focused on at least 3 months into training camp, and sparring amazing fighters like Angelo Leo, and we did a lot of 10-round sparrings as well, and Rais Alim as well. So great sparring. And then over here we had Akaho from Japan, who's helped me out here. So man, it's been a tremendous camp, but at the same time tremendous sparring partners.
Well, a long training camp, almost like a lifestyle into it, because you just stated the fact that right after the first fight, you continued training. Yes. And then you capitalized on another fight. Gabayo was one of them. Obale was another. So that means that training camp extended much more. It was basically a lifestyle. You just had an idea that you were going to get in the ring again with Inoue, and you were just setting your puzzles up. That way you prepared yourself for this position now.
Well, that's something that I've always created. When I want something, I always set my mind into it, and however long it's going to take, I'm going to get it some way, somehow, and here I am.
That is extremely interesting. You heard it first here from Nonito Donaire. And a bunch of questions that I do have, I wanted to ask, how do you seem rejuvenated. How did you go back to basically not the peak moments, because I think you're above that, because of course you've had a great career, but great fights, a lot of success. But it seems like at this moment, you have elevated to another level. You have elevated to a position where in 2014, I want to say, you were a pound per pound.
2012.
Right? 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, 2012. And right now, I personally, as someone who knows a little bit about boxing, see you as better than you were back then. How did you get to this position now?
I think, the work ethic and making a training in the gym a lifestyle. My body doesn't have to regress to start all over. I just go from where I left off. But I think mainly the number one thing that anyone could ever have to create something is the mindset. The mindset that you can do stuff. The mindset that you can do anything that you want. The mindset that you can truly evolve, and the belief in yourself. I mean, I think the biggest thing that I am coming into this fight is I have the mindset that I've already won.
And that gives you the confidence, because everything that I'm just assuming,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you've prepared for, everything that you've done to this moment has led you to victory, has basically put you in a position to where you can become victorious. And that's where I assume you get that confidence from.
Well, I think the confidence level is always been within me, because I've accepted that I am a fighter, and accepted that throughout the years I've always done so much, in the boxing world, and I've always fought the best in my division. And so the confidence is always there, but I think the mindset now is there is just an understanding and knowing that I'll win the fight.
And not only that, I saw you at the press conference, and I saw not animosity, but just maybe a unique, I guess you could say, just a unique situation between you and Inoue. Did you see something different from the first fight on to this one?
Well, I felt like there's a little bit of tension this time around. Back then we were happy. We were just smiley, and we were just happy to be there. Right now we're happy to be there, or to be here, but there's just that tension and that distance, and I like that. This is what a fight is all about.
Does that bring out the best in you? Does that give you the edge?
For me, it's like I already know what I'm gonna go in there, so it doesn't really matter the external things of what the situation transpire, or what other people are saying, or this and that, or I need to prove them or not. For me, is I know exactly what I need to do, and there is no level of what is this? There is no level of inspiration or motivation that I need. I already know that I'm inspired to win. I already know that I'm motivated to win, and I don't need any external situation to allow me to feel that way.
Okay, you did hurt Inoue in the first fight. Do you feel you will capitalize on what you did in the first fight and say that can lead you to a stoppage or a knockout victory?
100%. I mean, I always go for a knockout victory. That's just part of me. But whatever situation that's given to me, I'm gonna go for it. One thing for me is I'm there to finish. When someone is hurt, I'm there to finish them off right off the bat. That's something that I lacked on the first fight. Something I realized in the first fight was after the years of just going up and down, I realized that I lost the hunger or the killer instinct. And overall after that, that's something that I tried to revive, is the killer instinct, and this is why I'm going for the kill.
Now you're revived when it comes to the killer instinct, but do you see yourself as you're chasing down the monster now? Because the title that he has was monster, right? But I see you as a fighter that is a complete monster inside that ring, because you said it. You look for the knockout.
Yeah. One thing is, people can say he's a monster, but I believe that I am a monster in his head. I'm the boogeyman in his head. So when it really comes down to it, who is the biggest monster comes down to how the fight's gonna be.
Final question. So which one, you hit hard with both hands. Which fist is gonna take down Inoue? Or which fist will inflict the most damage?
I think that both hands can do it. That's just what he'll give me. What situation or what he's giving me is something. If it's the left, it's devastating. If it's the right, it's even more devastating. So I'm ready for anything.
Well, you heard it first from Nonito Donaire. He will be fighting Inoue only in a couple days. You can tune in on ESPN. We thank you for being on our first episode, and what a stellar video, with all due respect, because this is our very first episode, and it was a multi-division world champion, a top pound-for-pound fighter. So we are very thankful to have you on. Thank you to all the viewers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and I will prepare the next one very soon.